But what I'll do is I'll move on because we've got 3 more fantastic presentations to finish off the night with. And well done for sticking with us. Hopefully you're finding it interesting and informative. So next up, we have a presentation from Diana. Now, Diana Nazareth is a participatory photography facilitator and founder of Project Kids and Cameras. Her photography programs for kids, teens, and adults are informed by an extensive study of key progressive methods such as therapeutic photography, literacy through photography, photo voice, and visual thinking strategies. And she's facilitated participatory and project-based photography workshops for over 1,000 participants in schools, community art centres, libraries, and through community engagement initiatives through the Greater Toronto area. She received her BA in Communications Photojournalism from Temple University and her teaching artistic certification from the University of the Arts, Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, and her certification in therapeutic photography from me. So we shall have a look at Diana's presentation.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation for today's symposium, where I want to talk to you just a bit about how I use therapeutic photography, or how I've used it in a current program of mine called the Autistic Child and Caregiver Photography Program. Before I get started, just want to let you know a little bit about me. I am the founder of Project Kids and Cameras, which is a social enterprise where I work with children and youth around ages 5 to 18, where I use participatory photography-based methods and techniques to encourage children to explore the world around them through photography. Now, this particular program that I'm currently running is, as you can see, called the Autistic Child and Caregiver Photography Program, and it was a 5-session program that engaged autistic children with their caregivers, which were mainly either a parent, their mother, or their father. And I was contracted by Autism Ontario to design this program, and I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to try to begin to incorporate some of the therapeutic photography techniques and methods that I use, especially around the use of certain prompts to get the participants to begin to maybe build some self-esteem, some self-efficacy, some agency in their voice in and around the way that they discuss the photos that they took throughout the program. So what I wanted to focus on is, for those of you who are interested in incorporating therapeutic photography in your programs, I think that some of the questions that you could begin to ask yourself are the following. I think this will help to help you decide whether or not therapeutic photography is a good fit for your program. Maybe you're not using any type of therapeutic methods at this point, but if you are interested in doing some, I think some of the questions that you would need to ask yourself are the following. So, for example, what are the benefits of therapeutic photography for your program? How can you begin to infuse some of the program goals and objectives, some of your program goals and objectives using therapeutic photography elements? And you can see that I abbreviated here, it's for TP to keep it short. Also, another question you should be asking yourself is, how can you best facilitate discussion of your participants' photos using therapeutic photography as a guiding method? And also, eventually, something that we would probably need to consider as teaching artists is, how will you evaluate and measure your program impact using the therapeutic photography approach? So these are things that I'm still exploring, and these are things that I'm increasingly interested in incorporating into some of the program that I do with my Project Kids and Cameras enterprise. So moving along, I wanted to just give you a sense as to the philosophy that I have for my programs and how I feel that and why I feel that therapeutic photography, or the elements of therapeutic photography, are a good fit. So, and I'll go through these quickly because you'll be able to read them later. But for example, the first one is, in my programs, I always provide cameras to participants. And in therapeutic photography, you know, the idea is that by creating photos that participants are proud of, you begin to help them build some self-esteem. Also, the fact that they receive positive feedback from others helps them to become more confident and comfortable in expressing their opinion, thoughts, and their personal stories with each other. Secondly, my belief is that we learn better in an environment of low stress and high challenge. And I think that therapeutic photography is a perfect fit for this, because therapeutic photography can engage participants of various abilities and capacities in the pursuit of self-esteem and self-efficacy. Um, I think therapeutic photography lends itself to a very low stress exploration of chosen themes and topics, and allows for various participation entry points. So not everybody is comfortable sharing, you know, personal stories right away, but through therapeutic photography, we can sort of begin to build that safe environment where hopefully and eventually participants will feel comfortable doing so. Um, and a few more points along that that vein. Number three is that, you know, I believe that all of us are innately searching for meaning in our lives, and therapeutic photography allows for several ways in which we can explore meaning and intention. Um, you know, the story behind any particular image that we share within a safe group environment. Um, and sharing our personal stories as expressed in our images, along with the peer-to-peer feedback, helps to again strengthen, you know, self-esteem, self-efficacy, and ultimately, uh, I would say, some agency and voice. Um, Number four, I've always believed that um, we know we need time for personal reflection. And in therapeutic photography, um, individuals assess how they're feeling, and identify and gain insight on any emotional responses connected to the images that they're capturing. And again, being able to share this is also key. Um, so I just wanted to very briefly just show you some pictures that were captured um, by by some of the children and their caregivers. And I'll just leave this here for a second so that you can have a look at the images and also some of the words that were provided by each of these participants. And I'll move on to this one, the second one here. So again, you can see that these were some of the images that that the participants took and that ultimately we discussed together as a group, um, using therapeutic photography as a guiding method in terms of um, you know, facilitating a conversation around those images, that's done in a very sort of, again, safe environment where everyone is listened to and everyone is heard. And lastly, you can look at this one quickly. So in this particular one, I'll just comment that Elijah, I'm sorry, I don't have all the ages, but Elijah took a picture of his couch. And Elijah is autistic with limited verbal skills. And you can see that he took this picture because, you know, he explained to us that he enjoys watching TV and browsing the internet using his cell phone while lying on his couch in his home. So this is a special place for him, and he was very proud to share this image with everyone. And for this one here, I just want you to maybe take a screenshot, or you can see that there is a link to a SoundCloud in which the participants submitted audio recordings that I uploaded to a SoundCloud playlist so that they also had an opportunity to practice verbally, just articulating, describing some of the images that they chose to be submitted for a photo exhibit that we were going to do at the end of the program. And this is just a picture of Sydney with his service dog Winston. Okay, so moving quite along, I think I only have about 1 minute. I think it's very key for you if you are interested in incorporating therapeutic photography approach that you have a strong grasp on how to show, share, discuss photos, um, and and that you're doing that with the intention of helping to build self-esteem, self-efficacy, empowerment, and ultimately resilience in each of your participants. So my observations so far, the approach for me has worked quite well. I still feel like I'm a bit of a novice in really trying to fully integrate it while also, um, integrating some other methods that I use like literacy through photography and photo voice. But I think that they all complement each other. And so I hope to continue to um, observing how using therapeutic photography can have an impact on reaching the goals and objectives of my particular program. Engagement has been incredible. The fact that participants can show and share pictures that they took is something it's quite something to see. You could have an autistic individual come in who will not speak at all at the beginning of the course, and then is making friends and is quite open and expressive with some of the things that they feel are important to them. So I do feel that it can be well adapted to almost just about any type of photography program where you are working in a participatory setting. So there you have it. I want to thank you so much for listening to me. And I just left some of my contact information here because I'm always very happy and willing to connect with other teaching artists, photographers that are interested in doing the same thing. To me, that's key, that we can stay connected as a community ourselves, especially when it comes to learning how to incorporate therapeutic photography in the work that we do moving forward. So here's some contact information for you. Thank you so much. Feel free to reach out to me, and thank you so much for listening. Have a good day.
Excellent stuff. Thank you very much, Diana. We'll move right on next to our penultimate presentation by Megan Ribbens. Now, Megan has a BA in Education, an MS in International Family Studies, a PG Cert in Therapeutic Photography, and is a certified child life specialist. She currently lives with her family in Johannesburg, South Africa, and Megan's work aims to provide playful and reflective spaces for children and families to process life experiences and create meaning to mitigate the effects of challenge, stress, and trauma. Megan began Through Their Eyes, a therapeutic and participatory photography program in Nigeria in 2011. And since then, Through Their Eyes programs have been implemented in the US, in Oxford, England, and in South Africa, alongside NGOs, schools, and faith-based communities. And additionally, Megan is a facilitator for interfaith photo voice. I'm going to play her presentation, and I have to say, Megan, this has got one of the most heart-melting smiles in the presentation, so look out for that. I just thought it was fantastic.
Hello, my name is Megan Ribbens. I was part of the 2022 Therapeutic Photography cohort at Robert Gordon University. I come to the work of therapeutic photography through the lens of an educator and certified child life specialist working in the community setting, particularly engaging NGOs, schools, and faith-based organizations. I've been designing and implementing through their ICE photography programs for children and families with Resonate Global Missions since 2011, and have been facilitating interfaith photo voice projects since 2020. My work with children began in Nigeria and is currently unfolding in Johannesburg, South Africa. From the first pilot program I implemented, I was convinced of the power of therapeutic photography, even before I knew it was an organized or organizing thing. I quickly saw that it is easily accessible thanks to the democratization of modern photography, provides a safe space for reflection and meaning making, provides a distance between people and topics for safe exploration, is non-threatening and easily connects people to themselves and each other and their beliefs. Generally, it is a safe and playful way of relating, which in and of itself promotes restoration and healing. I was drawn to the course to strengthen my understanding of the theoretical underpinnings to better understand why therapeutic photography is so effective and to strengthen my own programming. There were so many important topics that we covered in our program, but today I want to share what I learned about and have seen regarding the topic of attachment. In our course, we learned about and explored attachment through the work of Bowlby and Ainsworth, as depicted in this slide. You can see we learned about the different attachment styles, but we also learned about how attachment styles show up in adulthood, how attachment styles show up in the therapeutic photography space, and how the therapeutic space can invite participants into a felt experience of secure attachment. Due to not understanding our own attachment style, chronic stress, mental health issues, abuse, poverty, and so many other factors, many people do not have a lived experience of secure attachment. Through the way Dr. Gibson taught about attachment in a shame-free and non-blaming manner, I was better able to understand my own childhood attachment and how it's shown up in my adult relationships. Additionally, I was also able to apply it to my work in therapeutic photography. Prior to the course, I had never thought about the therapeutic space mimicking secure attachment. It makes so much sense, but I had never connected those dots before. Not only did Dr. Gibson teach about secure attachment in the therapeutic space, he modeled it throughout our course. Knowing that attachment is not fixed, that it is revisable within the context of new relationships, therapeutic photography can invite participants into a new lived experience of secure attachment to develop pathways of healthier relationships and improved internal working models when we do the following in the therapeutic space. Establish a trusting relationship. Create a safe base for exploration and for listening. Provide consistent and clear expectations. Acknowledge and adhere to healthy boundaries. Create safe expression of emotions and experiences, and provide safe ways of engaging within a group. In my experience within the therapeutic space, I've also seen how therapeutic photographies can foster attachment and increase attunement with caregivers and existing supportive relationships. One key to attuning the students to their caregivers and support networks in my program is the way programs encourage support seeking from their existing supportive relationships as they do their tasks, and the way in which it prepares caregivers to be safe places for questions and support giving throughout the process. To give an example of attunement to self and other relationships, I'll tap into a program I did on resilience called Perfect Square. We did this with children ages 10 to 13. For the program, we used the framework of Dr. Edith Grotberg's paradigm of resilience to tell visual stories about our own resilience plans, our I have, I am, and I can. The program involved learning about resilience, taking photographs, writing about those photographs, making a final artwork with our photographs, our perfect squares we called them, to depict how the children have already bounced back from a challenge or setback. And finally, we hosted an exhibition of our work. After our program and exhibition, we casually reflected on what students had learned and what they were taking away. I could talk all day about the effectiveness of therapeutic photography, but I think it's far more powerful to hear from participants themselves. The following videos, which have received recent permission again to be shared, reveal examples of how these students attune to the self, to their peers, to their caregivers, and supportive networks. These were casual conversations and videoing, so please keep that in mind as you listen in.
So what about then the paradigm of resilience? Do you think you can, or will you will be helpful to you if you do experience setbacks in the future or when you experience setbacks?
I think when I did have those small setbacks in the past, I was constantly looking in the I have column, and I was looking for exterior things that if I can just get this or I have this, then it makes me feel better. But I think after the Perfect Square initiative, I really felt like I need to start looking inward. Like, I can do this to help me succeed or get past this, and I am this. So I don't need to look at the exterior things, what I have or what I don't have, or what's been taken away from me or given to me in this setback all the time. I can look inward and say, I can do this, and I am this, so I can get past this.
So as he looked inwards, the next video tells what this young boy was able to name about himself and his inner characteristics that make him strong.
What parts of your I am paradigm of resilience, like what makes Jonathan unique? What characteristics do you have that you think really support you in bouncing back?
I really think that I am very determined. I don't give up easily. And I really do think that is a very strong point in my I am column. And that's one of my things that I lean onto. I never give up, and I'm always pushing to try and get past the problem and find a new way around it. So
A little bit later, Jonathan was able to tie in that his I am, his strong characteristics, tie into what he can do. And that was beautiful to see him making these connections on his own.
We did a lot of different things in the program, from workshops to your homework to the Perfect Square part of it. What was your favorite part of the overall program?
My favorite out of everything was sharing your pictures, half of your pictures with a friend, because then that gave you the motivation of, oh, this guy's giving me these pictures. He has done a big improvement on them and a great job, so I feel proud of having them and giving some to him, because then it shows how not only photography skills can tell stories and change people's lives, but it shows that you can also use it to be kind and say what you want to say to other people. And using these pictures, I found that I could do a lot of things because he had more brighter colors than mine, so I could mix and make beautiful artwork.
The beautiful artwork he was referring to is this one, where he used half of his own photographs from his resilience plan and half of Jonathan's pictures to represent something he had already bounced back from. The next two videos, the girls will talk about how doing this program linked them in stronger ways to their caregivers and to their supportive networks.
Samantha, what was it? How did other people help you in this process? Did they tell you what to do? Did you tell them your ideas and they gave suggestions? How did they help you as you were telling your stories through pictures?
They helped me by supporting me with everything I did, like my mom. At first, I told her that I wouldn't do this. Then she supported me to do it, because sometimes I'll come from school and I'm just sitting there like, take pictures. I'm like, no, mom, I'm not good. And then I ended up like feeling like you can't say you can't do something without trying it. So I tried, and then I saw this is so wonderful, and I carried on every day. I just wanted to take pictures, and sometimes when Loretta came to my house, she helped me with the pictures. We did pictures but different ways. Like, she wrote a name and I also wrote my heart, and then she did it in a different way. So that, yeah, friends were there to support and family.
Loretta, what was your favorite part of the whole program? We did lots of different things.
My favorite part was when we had to bring our parents, friends, and other people to come and see our work, and to just show them how hard we worked, and to show that our hard work paid off. and because my picture inspired many people, and I liked my perfect square.
What did you like about your perfect square?
It was creative, and it showed who I am, and it showed that I could still move on in life no matter what happens.
The inspiring picture Lorata was talking about is this purple flower on the lower left-hand side that she used to talk about her mother, who had passed away several years before. And she was explaining to her dad in this photograph how they still have ways forward. It was beautiful to see her name specific things to this really difficult experience. Attuning to their inner worlds and connecting to their support networks led to increased self-knowledge, which left the students feeling good about themselves. You could see through their smiles as they talked about the experience. With increased self-efficacy, knowing that change was and is possible, and the ability to name personal strategies for ways forward. It was powerful for me to see the active attunement of caregivers and the way they celebrated their children through the entire process. As a non-therapist using therapeutic photography in a preventative manner, I now have a keener understanding of the intended outcomes of therapeutic photography. Our course sharpened my understanding that programming must not be therapeutic by accident. Going forward, I will be ensuring my programs meet the intended outcomes of increased self-esteem, self-efficacy, and empowerment. Additionally, this course has been a catalyst to ensure my programs model and invite participants into an experience of secure attachment, and will continue to be intentional in the ways the experience attunes parents and children. I'm really excited to sharpen what I do going forward. If you have any questions about Perfect Square or other programs we're doing here in South Africa, please feel free to get in touch.
Thank you very much, Megan. And we're going to move swiftly on to our final presentation of the night, and then we'll open up, we'll close with question and answers again before we finish. So our final presentation is from Maria Chalari, and she's a doctoral graduate from the UCL Institute of Education in the field of sociology of education. Maria has worked with human rights organizations and institutions and has taken part in many conferences, youth forums, human rights projects in different countries around the world. She's also worked as an educator in formal and informal education and has been a member of numerous research teams. Among other topics, her research focuses on human rights, political, ethnic, racial, and gender-based social problems, the origins and shaping of education policy in different areas at national and international levels, and the construction of social discrimination and social exclusion. Maria is currently working as a research associate and scientific collaborator at the European University Cyprus, and she is teaching research methodology and sociology of education. Our current research interests have to do with the impact of COVID-19 on students' well-being in Greece and Cyprus. Apart from all the above, she's very interested in photography and uses this in social sciences, and obviously she's completed the postgraduate course in therapeutic photography. Her future project, she aims to use photography as a qualitative research method, as a medium for expressing emotions, and as a creative response to lived experience, and in practice to enhance students' self-esteem, self-efficacy, empowerment, and well-being. So without further ado, I shall launch the final presentation, and then we'll take question and answers at the very end.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for being here. This is the last presentation of the day. I know you're tired, so I will try to do it as quickly as possible. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Maria Chalari, and I am from Greece. I have studied education Education and Human Rights, and I have a doctoral degree in Sociology of Education. This year, I completed the postgraduate course in Therapeutic Photography at Robert Gordon University. Currently, I work as a postdoctoral researcher at the European University Cyprus, and I also teach research methodology and sociology of education at the same university. My desire to present in this symposium came from a number of different impulses. On the one hand, it is motivated by a desire to share with you my gratitude to Neil Gibson and to all my co-students at the course of Therapeutic Photography. This course has affected me in many ways, and I wanted to use this occasion to reflect on my encounters with the whole group. However, this presentation is also born of a need to make sense of my journey to the world of therapeutic photography. This journey is mostly a personal quest to rediscover who I am, what kind of educator I want to be, and how I can use photography in my work as a sociologist of education. Through this presentation, I consider ways in which therapeutic photography has been critical to my attempt to think about photography, as well as about myself differently. In this presentation, I will share with you some pages from a photo book I designed at the end of our course. The title of our photo book is Soul Exposure, Using Photography to Shed Light into Our Existence. The Soul Exposure is a collection of images during the therapeutic photography course by its first cohort of students. This course is the first of its kind in the world, and we are its first graduates. Through this course, we develop the knowledge and skills to be able to use photography in practice to enhance self-esteem, self-efficacy, and empowerment. In the weekly activities of the course, we used images to explore narratives regarding ourselves, images to express our emotions, images that reflect our hopes and wishes for the future. I was inspired, the title of the photo book, by the long exposure technique. Long exposure refers to the technique where photographers keep the shutter of their camera open for an unusually long period of time. So instead of capturing an image in a split second, they trigger the shutter button and wait, often for minutes or even hours, until the exposure is finished. The resulting image captures the trail of moving objects in front of the camera while showing still elements razor sharp. Accordingly, during the weekly Padlet exercises, we, the participants of the course, kept the shutter of our soul open for a long period of time, for 1 year. I could say that the Padlet exercises were an analytic, a thought, a therapeutic process akin to psychotherapy. The Padlet wall in our course worked as a meeting point for the participants and as a safe place with a comfortable atmosphere of disclosure. The use of photography generated very rich discussions through a process of interaction between the participants of the group. The discussions allowed us to explore the dynamic nature of human perception as well as the contradiction and plurality of participants' views, feelings, and experiences. Now, I would like to share with you some of the Padlet exercises we did during our second module. Our first exercise is an exercise with the title Introductions and Icebreakers. For this exercise, we were asked to look around our workspace and take a photograph of something in the room that has meaning or significance for us, to share the image and say something about the photograph, such as what have we photographed, why is it significant, and what does it say about us. The next exercise had the title The Self, Selfies and Self-Portraits. In this exercise, we were given the task of doing a self-portrait that captured a personal quality. We were asked to think of a positive quality or characteristic of us and capture that in an image. We were encouraged to be as creative and abstract as we like. In these images, we answer questions such as who am I? What is my relationship with my environment and others? Who do I want to be? We also explore our emotions and narratives regarding ourselves and our needs. Photography is a powerful form of communication, but also a powerful way of exploring ourselves and our interaction with people. Self-portrait photography is a kind of self-documentary that can give the opportunity to the photographer to clarify his/her self-image and raise his/her self-esteem and self-confidence through making, viewing, and accepting images of him and herself. In the next exercise, we were asked to explore the 6 main emotions and to take a picture to represent creatively each one in an abstract manner. The 6 emotions were fear, sadness, anger, surprise, joy, and love. This exercise led to a discussion about how we deal with particular emotions, what was difficult to photograph, and what might be omitted. Through photography and through this exercise, we looked at the normal emotions we experience and we attempted to capture an image with the purpose of exploring the accessibility of these emotions. The dynamics of using photographs in this exercise enabled us to travel to our subconscious and evoke from there images and feelings that would be very difficult to express in words. In the next exercise, we focused on relationships, attachments, and family systems. Building on the abstract nature of photography, we were asked to consider the people most important to us in our lives, to think of a significant relationship and to represent it with a photograph. The next exercise was about strengths and resilience. In this exercise, we were asked to think about our daily routines and to share where do we draw strength from? Where do we turn when things get tough? We were asked to explore our own resilience using as many photographs as we liked. Next, we had an exercise about hopes and fears for the future. In this exercise, we tried to capture our hopes and wishes for the future in a photograph. Next, we continued with a photo voice exercise where we investigated using many photographs the good points and the bad points of online learning. Here you can see some of them. In the last exercise, we were free to upload whatever we wanted and to share some last thoughts and feelings. What I feel that we achieved through the Padlet exercises is that we felt safe to be open, to express ourselves, to share experiences, beliefs, attitudes, and emotional reactions, to learn from the other members, and to go back to ourselves with new insights and new behaviors. Through the comments of the other participants, we managed to look at our images and ourselves in another way and to see things differently through the construction of new stories. My peers' comments gave me new eyes and new visions, and with new visions come new perspectives, new meanings, new ways of looking, and new ways of visioning. Therapy can be understood as a process of discourse transformation. This shift to discourse is perhaps the most widely apparent aspect of therapy and has given rise to a broad range of therapeutic innovations. The way in which photography is used therapeutically are contrasting and varied. Taking powerful photographs has potential implications for social change and the ability to inspire, motivate, change lives, and change minds. Taking photographs can help us be mindful in the flow of time, light, and space, to accept these general shifts, to recover our histories, reveal connections, and redream ourselves and our life. Taking photographs can help us shed light into our existence. Thank you very much. And in case you're interested in buying our photo book, you can send me an email here. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. Good night and see you again. Bye.
Thank you very much. Excellent stuff. Okay, and that concludes the presentations from the students, or the graduates, I should say. Well, we'll take some questions. I see, Caron, your hand is raised in the participant column. Are you able to type a question? Or what I can do is I think I can allow you to talk, so I'll try this. So Caron, do you want to ask a question? No, perhaps that was too ambitious. Okay, we'll go back to the main questions that are coming in. So Linda, thank you very much for your comment about AI. Yeah, it's good to get a different perspective. Linda and I used to work together, so it's lovely to see Linda here. So thank you. Now, Megan, Maria, and Diana, did you have any questions that you wanted to address that were coming in whilst the other presentations were going on?
I think that we have addressed all the questions.
Good stuff. That's good. I mean, some really interesting projects. Diana, you were asked about whether you do some work with learning disabilities. I don't know if, did you manage to address that one as well?
Yes, I did. And I have, it's within the last 2 years, I've done some limited work with individuals with developmental disabilities, for example, like, Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And and was probably trying to apply some therapeutic photography approach before I knew much about it. But I look forward to also trying to find ways to integrate it into a program specifically with that group.
Excellent. I noticed a comment that came in the chat in the question and answers. I think it was from Adrian, who spoke about doing work in Kenya as well. So that pricked my interest, because I've also used photography in Kibera in Nairobi as well. So it was interesting to see comments kind of relating to different ways and maybe possibly different ways of engaging photographs in the future as well. We'll just open up the webinar chat again, so feel free to add any comments you've got into the webinar chat. We'll keep looking at the question and answers and see if there's anything particular we can answer. And thanks very much for all the praise for the presenters. I think it's been a fantastically informative experience. All right, thanks, Adrian. I see your comment about Kibera and Kawangre. Excellent stuff. So as I said, all the presentations are going to be made available on the Community of Practice site. I'm just going to share the Community of Practice site once more before we finish. So this is the site that I keep referring to. So it's an opportunity to get online, to share experiences, to ask questions, to start conversations in the forum or groups. And if you click on the videos tab, you will find all the presentations from tonight and a few extra as well. So we plan to keep building on this resource so that people can go in and use these resources. We've also got a site, a page here for photographs. So if you've got any examples of photographs that have meaning, or you want to illustrate how they've been used in a certain way, of course, seek permission before you do that if they're not your photographs. But if they are your photographs, please do feel free to share them and explain why they are therapeutic or how they were used. That would be wonderful. So the link to this site will be shared in any information that comes out after the symposium. So the site is available now. You can go on to it and you can register at the site. It's a free site. Just form a free account and you can use it. And as I said, the more it's used, the more the information will grow. And this is not to take away from any other resource that's out there. I know Judy's got a fantastic Facebook page, and Judy and I have chatted about this community of practice specifically for therapeutic photography. I think there's a big need as people roll these techniques out into practice and just seek support from one another. Excellent.
Neil, can I just say something?
Please do.
I just wanted to say to anyone who's watching, who's contemplating doing the course, I just thoroughly just say go for it. Neil's very humble, but he's absolutely inspirational teacher. He really is. The whole course has been quite life-changing for me, and also just the camaraderie that we've built as a group, the people that are here, and also our other classmates who might be watching. It's just been a really open-hearted and really huge learning experience for me personally. And yeah, I just wanted to say that. So if you're thinking of doing the course, do it.
Thank you very much, Fee. I will, of course, when the information comes out after the symposium, I've got a link to the course material as well. It's not supposed to be a shameless plug for the course, but obviously if you're interested, you can follow up, you can email me, ask any questions about it, and find out if it's something suitable for you and what you're interested in doing with it. So always happy to answer questions. So I think I'll draw things to a close. I'd like to thank each and every one of the presenters. I know that this is not the full cohort from the first course. Other people had wanted to participate, but life gets in the way sometimes, and that's fair enough. So thank you very much to all 10 of you for taking the time to pull together such fantastically informative presentations. And for me, it's just so fantastic to see the ways in which these techniques are going to be developed, shaped, and actually ultimately benefit people's lives at the end of the day, which is really what it's about. It's about sharing these techniques because it benefits people. So it's just brilliant to see that happening. So thank you very much, everybody. Okay, so thank you. The recording will be made available. I will share the link once I've finished all the technical stuff and putting it onto YouTube. But thank you very much, everybody, for participating and for attending. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to quickly say as well that I've saved all of the links for everybody, and Neil has all of those. So if you worried that you couldn't save the chat, don't worry. Neil will have all of the links to everybody and you can email those out.
Perfect. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.